Deep in the hollow, there's an old forgotten tomb that no one dared to enter. Legends say that one night a tiny lantern was found glowing inside, wrapped in ancient bandages. They say the lantern belonged to a mummy who was cursed to guard the tombs for all eternity. And if you see this little light glowing in the darkness, you better be careful because the mummy might not be sleeping anymore. Welcome back to Haunting in the Hollow. Let's see if we can bring this creepy legend to life. Okay, everybody, so let's jump in here and go over all of the supplies that we need to make these mummies that add on to our Hunting in the Hollow series, okay? All right, so you're going to be repurposing a little bit of stuff, so that's always cool. We are going to be using some spaghetti jars, pickle jars, whatever kind of jars that you have and that you want to use. And you can do all different sizes. So even like baby food jars would be really cute. This is a canning jar, spaghetti jar, and even the bigger pickle jars would be so cute doing these, okay? So you're going to need some of these. And then you're going to need some paint if you want to make your mummy look a little more ragged and like dirty and stuff, like they're old, okay? I got some brown, some khaki, some black. And then I also brought my glow-in-the-dark paint because why not? I was like, I might use it, I might not. So we'll see. But that's I got from the Dollar Tree, just so you guys know. And these two, the apple barrel ones, I got from Walmart. And then this brown I got from Dollar Tree. And then you also are going to need some gauze or, your gauze rolls, or you can even use some cheesecloth. But these are all from the Dollar Tree. I got 4 of them. Okay. And then remember I told you guys I love these googly eyes and that we would be coming up with some projects. Well, here's another one. We're going to be using those Dollar Tree googly eyes, okay? And also from the Dollar Tree, you're going to need a tea light or some fairy string lights, or you could even, I don't have one here, but you could even use a solar power if you want to do these for outside. Try to find a solar light that's going to fit on the top of here to where you can paint the plastic, not the solar power part, but the plastic on the solar power. So you can glue it down, paint it white, and then you can wrap the gauze up around that and blend it all together. But then you could put these out on your sidewalk or in your garden beds for the Halloween time, okay? I might be making some like that for putting out here. When I went, I could not find any solar power at the Dollar Tree I was at. So I'm going to work with what I have, and then I might go ahead and add a solar power to one of these or so, or I might just make a couple more. And then here is a brush, just so I can dry brush on if I want to dinge my mummy up. And then you're also going to need your hot glue gun. And then I'm going to get that plugged in. All right, so we're ready to go. So what I'm going to do is I'll be right back. I'm going to go ahead and set this up how I usually have it so you guys can look down at the project as I'm working on it. And then at the very end, I'll come back. All right. Okay, so now we're back and we'll go ahead and get started. I'm going to go ahead and start with this big one first. Now, if you do want to leave the lids on, you can paint the lids. So if you're doing like the fairy lights, you can glue this fairy light box right up here. And then that way you can dangle them down in here. And then when you unscrew it, it's easier to turn on and off. Okay. That's what I'm probably going to do with this one. So let me go ahead and start with this one here because I'm not going to, I'm going to leave this ring on here though. Wait, no, I'm not going to. We're going to leave it off. And I'm just going to make sure I have my mane for my face area where my eyes are going to be. I'm just going to make sure they're right here where there is no patterning on the jar. Okay. So now what we're going to do is we're going to grab our gauze. Now this gauze is a little bit on the thicker side. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do it like this. And I'm going to start in the back. And I think I'm going to fold this and cut this here. Let me go ahead and cut this. Okay, so what I did is I went ahead and I cut this real quick and just in half, this gauze, which is cool because then it's not all perfect either. So we don't want that. So we're going to start down here, put some of your glue down, and then we're going to stick this down to it, pin it in, and then you're just going to start wrapping it like you would have seen a zombie, like not a zombie, I'm sorry, a mummy. But I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to put just a little bit there. Okay. So now what I'm going to decide is where am I going to put the eyes? And I told you guys this one I wanted to make as a girl. Let me go ahead and put this down here. I hope that's enough light. Okay. So I think on this one, I am going to do... And that's what's fun about these is you can make them like you have goofy, one have a big eye, one have a small eye. I think on this one, I'm going to put these pink eyes, I think. If I can find another pink, I'd like to do two pinks if I can. If I can't, then I might switch to yellow. Oh no, here's a pink. I got one. All right. So this one, I'm going to use these pinks. And I'm just going to make her have just regular eyes. So nothing like no big, no, one big, one small, none of that. I give it a minute to cool or so it doesn't melt this plastic because that's on high temp. Oh, that's a red. Okay, well, we're going to do a red and a pink. We're just going to go with it. Why not? All right, and we're going to put an eyeball here. Okay. Let it cool for just a second. And then drop your eyeball down. All right, so now when we wrap it, we want to have it to where some of the light will be able to come through like cracks, and then we'll come up. And if you want to secure it, go ahead and put a little bit of glue. I'm going to put a little bit right there because I don't want it falling down. I want it to stay up here. Okay. And then I'm going to come up. I'm going to come around just like that. Okay. I'm going to put a little bit of glue in the back. Like I said, guys, this is a super, super simple, fun craft to make. And it's going to look great in our little hollow when we are done. All right, so there's that. Get that on there. All right, so I have another piece here. So let's see. I want to come up just like this a little bit because I want to kind of crisscross right there to bring the to cover this eye just a little bit. So I'm just going to cross it over, and then I'm going to take and put a little glue right up under here and tuck that, okay? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull this back. Put a little glue. Now, if you're going to put this outside, I would suggest you to do a little bit of like E6000 or, you know, something like that so you can have a more like better hold. Because sometimes, like if you live in Florida, I know sometimes the, I'm going to cut this off right here, guys. The glue sticks sometimes will come undone because it's so hot outside. And I do know that other states are getting really, really hot like that too. So my suggestion is just go ahead and use your glue stick for a hold right away, but then have some spots on there that you use like some E6000. All right, I'm going to cut this extra off right here where I'm tucking it under. I don't need that much. Sorry if you can hear the dog snoring. They like to kind of be in the room when I'm crafting. So, okay, let me go ahead and pull that down over top like that. All right, and then I'm going to put just a tad bit of glue right under here. Now, something I thought about with this one is I kind of want this one to be a girl. I'm going to go ahead and just put a little dab right under here. I'll hold that so it doesn't come up. All right. And then you can decide if you want to pull, you know, something down over top of the eyes a little bit. You know, you can mess with yours and make it however you want. I am happy with the way this one's looking. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to get that brown. I think I'm going to do a light, like a little dry brushing of brown. Let's see. I don't have my little thing over here for my paint. So what I'm going to do is just take my mat. Sorry, I got paint on it from earlier, so that's fine. I'm going to put a little bit of my paint on here. And then I'm going to just dab it around like this because all you want it to do is be a dry. So then I can just kind of go like this and give it a little aged war mummy that's been around for hundreds of years. And you don't have to add this if you don't want to, but I like to add it because, you know, most of the time mummies are. I'm going to tuck this in maybe a little bit. Let me see, do I like it tucked in? Yeah, I'm okay with that. Okay. And that's its cute little eyes are peeking out. And don't forget to do the back too. I mean, it's not like everybody's going to see the back unless they're out in your walkway or something, but all right. Now this one, like I was telling you guys, I wanted her to be a little girl. So let me go ahead and give this a cut here. Hold on one second, guys. These scissors, for some reason, are not acting very good to me right now. I'm gonna have to find my other pair. So what I'm doing is this is just an old bow that I had from um, a gift bag that we made jewelry out of. So I'm just gonna use that bow and I'm gonna put a little bow and make her a little girl. Because that's what I want her to be. She doesn't have to be scary. She can just be cute. And there we go. And then let's see here. These little things, once it's all completely like cooled down and dried, I will get all the little things off. And I think I'm going to put just a tidbit or tids. Oh, goodness gracious. That did not come out right. A tidbit, not a tidbit, a tidbit of black. And then I might go ahead and dab around a little glow in the dark as well, just so if she's not on, she can still keep glowing. Okay. Okay. All right, so there's that. And I'm going to grab a paper towel over here. Just to wipe this off. Put that one there. I'm going to grab another one, but it's a smaller one. Whoa. Okay. I got some glow in the dark and I'm just going to wipe it on down the bandages. That way, if you don't have the lights on and she was out in the sun enough, her bandages will glow in the dark as well. Okay. I'm in a new area here, so I hope I'm staying in the frame enough. I will get better. I set up a whole new area here. I'm on the other side of the table now, which feels really funky. What is your favorite Halloween characters? Like, is it mummies, vampires, werewolves, clowns? Like, do you have one that you tend to go to more that you like? Comment down below if you have one that you like more. Okay. All right, so she is about done here. All right, so she's done. So now we're going to go ahead and start the next one. So what I'm going to do with her is she's going to get the tea light or the votive candle. So I'm going to hold her up like this so you guys can see. That's what she's going to look like. Plus she's going to have the glow in the dark paint on there as well. Isn't she adorable? All right, so I'm going to set her over here and let her glow while we're working on the next one. All right, so for this one, I need to find my white paint because we're going to be gluing the fairy light up to the top of that so we can use the lid on that one. And right here is my white paint. We're going to paint this and then we'll go ahead, put eyes on that, wrap it, and then we'll have this dry by that time. Okay. Sorry if you can hear my daughter in the background. Okay. Go ahead and put this on. Probably go ahead and do like two coats of this. And once this is a completely dry, you know, you can put Mod Podge on it. You can put outdoor Mod Podge so you don't have to worry about it coming off. You can spray it with a sealant, whatever you want to do. Or you don't even have to put anything on it, because if you're just going to leave it in the house, you don't need to. All right, so we're going to set this down. We're going to let this dry. So we're going to put that right over there. All right. So now we're going to see, like, where do we want to put the eyes on this one, and what eyes do we want to use? So for this little guy, I want to make him look a little goofy. So I think I'm going to do one big black eye on him. I think I'm going to do one big black eye like that. And then I was thinking about maybe doing one of these smaller green eyes. I think that would be cute. He'll be different. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to put a little bit of this down. Okay. There's that. Pushing that down into the glass. All right, and then this eye we're going to put here. All right, so those are going to be his eyes. Now I have a piece of this that I had already. I think what we'll do is we're going to cover some of the big eye like that. So this time what I'm doing is I'm starting out with just a layer to get my eyeballs where I want them and how I want them covered. And then I'm going to cross this over the back, and I'm going to put some glue right there. Just like that. Ooh. Oh yeah, I squeezed that out. That was hot. All right. So I wanted his eye to be out. His big eye to be covered a bit. What's awesome about when you work on the glass is you can, if you get a little bit of outside like glue, you can just push it with your fingernail and it will move out of the way. Okay. All right. So now I'm going to take this piece and I think I'm going to go like that. Okay. So then he has a big eye and then he has a littler eye, and I might pull that up just a little bit so it's like that. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and get this tacked down. Just like that. And then I'm going to take this and I'm going to pull it up just a little bit. Okay. Just like that. And then now this one's a bit bigger one, so I'm just going to go ahead. I'm going to cut this. I'm unwinding some of it and then I'm going to cut it. Now I bought 4 boxes of this gauze. You did not need to get 4 boxes. I'm just planning on making more of these. So I'm going to be using more, but you don't have to get 4 boxes because as you can see, I still have some left. And I already did one and we're already working on another one. Plus, You never know when you need some gauze around the house anyway, so it never hurts to have it. Not around here. Okay, so I glued those two together. So now I just kind of folded it over, but I didn't even do it perfect because it gives it more, like, it looks like there's more layers. So I'm just going to go ahead. I'm going to start at the bottom and do what we did the last time. Just put some of your glue down. Lay down your gauze. And this time I'm going to leave, I think, a little bit of, so more light comes through at the bottom right there. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and put a little glue. I like to put glue throughout so it helps hold that gauze in place, okay? All right. I wonder if I can come back down. I'm going to come back down like this. So it's crossed over that way. And I'm going to wrap it around the bottom. And I'm going to put a little glue back here. Because now I'm going to go straight up over that eye like that. Sorry if I was just out of the camera. I'm going to come up out of there like that. Okay. And then I'm going to go right up underneath here. So I'm going to put a little bit of glue right here to help hold this up in the space where I want it. Okay. Because remember, we have our lid. So I'm going to kind of come up and I'm going to go a little bit like almost, what do you call it? Very loose up here. Okay. So we got that. I'm going to come down just like that. And then stick it. Okay. And then I'm going to see if I can come right back down like that. Okay. And that's how I want him wrapped. I just want him wrapped a little bit different than what she is. So I'm going to put this glue right here. And it doesn't have to be perfect. That's the fun of this, is it's not supposed to be perfect because mummies were not all wrapped the same and they weren't, you know, perfect. They wrapped them. And then I'm going to tuck this end in right there. And I'm going to put a little glue. Okay. And then I'm going to boop, just like that. Okay. Now I'm going to play around with this right here. I'm going to pull that up so it's like that. Just like that. We still want everybody to see that he's got like one big eye, one small eye. There we go. All right, so now we can go ahead and we can add our black and brown if you want to. You don't have to. I like to give them a little bit of something. Just to make it look like it's sturdy and old. These would be so cute with the solar power lining the driveway or up in your rock bed or out on the front porch, have a couple sitting up by the door. Yeah, these would be very, very cute. I will post pictures of the ones I do and where I stick them at this Halloween. I am going to be making some more of these to put out at our house. Okay. Now you can see this one, I'm giving him a little bit more like he's way dirtier than she was. He's going to be a little different. Okay. Mhm. Okay. All right, so there's that. And then I'm going to take the other one. I'm going to put some of this glow in the dark. Oop, I grabbed the white. Wipe that off. Get some more glow in the dark paint. Okay. You can put it on every bandage. You can put it on some of them. It's whatever you want to do. I just put on him, I just put a little bit on each line that's on his face. I'm not going to worry about the back so much because he's probably going to be sitting on the shelf. Okay. And then let's go ahead and paint this white on the top. All right, this here, let me get this painted and dried and I'll be right back. Okay, so what I'm doing is I dried that a bit and now I'm just adding a little bit of the gauze around this part of the lid. Okay, that way when it's sitting on the shelf, it's got the gauze as well. And now I'm just gonna hot glue that all down as much as I can. So what I'm gonna do is I got hot glue and then I'm just gonna push this down. That. I'm just gonna run it right around there. And then any of the pieces that you need to, you just tack them down, okay? Because what I did is I don't want this to look perfect because the rest of it's like that. You don't want it to look okay. So what I can do is I'm going to take this, trim that off. That down. Okay. All right, so Now what we want to do is we're going to dinge this up a bit once we get it on. But what we want to do is we want to glue this down. But we want to make sure that we glue this side down because you're going to need to open this up to change those batteries. So you're just going to put a little glue right in the center here. And then push it on down into the center of your lid. And then you can undo as much as these as you want to. You can leave it balled up like this if you want to, or you can undo them and just stuff them in there. And these ones are cool because these lights right here, they can stay at like a steady, they can bleep, you know. So these are really cool to get too. So if you want to put these outside like this because they're inside the jar and with the lid on, you can do that because they're not going to get wet. So no, you don't need solar power, but you would have to go out and you would have to turn the lights on every night. So if they're just like on your porch or something, I mean, yeah, but if you're going to put these outside and, you know, around your driveway and stuff, definitely do the solar power. That would be way, way easier for you. All right, I'm going to leave them like that. I'm not going to fight with it no more. I'm going to shove these on down in here. Just like this. It doesn't have to be perfect because when you go to turn it on, you don't have to pull these all the way out. You just got to open up the lid a little bit, pop them on. See, this one's got like that, and like that. So for right now, I'm just going to leave it like that. I want that to be towards the back, the part like that. Okay. So now I'm just going to take this and kind of scuff up this top a bit so it kind of blends in with the rest of my all right, and there you go. And you got yourself, I'm going to put a little bit more white up at the top just so that can be a little bit more complete. There we go. All right. All right, guys. Well, thank you so much for joining me to make another one of our Hunting in the Hollows. This is our mummy that we did. We have a little girl mummy and we have a little goofy-eyed guy. So this is our third series, or third episode in our series. We will be having our next one coming out is going to be super fun and cool as well. So I hope that you guys enjoy crafting these cute little repurposed jars into little mummies for your haunted hollow. All right. Thank you. Please like and subscribe if you like this. Share this with your friends and family. And let's all be creative and create magic. All right. Have a great one.